This is the power of Beanstalk Wurm, by the way. It's very subtle, and it's probably not going to be winning us the game here, but forcing them to use an answer on a stupid Beanstalk Wurm that already ramped us is really nice. We're not winning the game because of this, but the fact that they have one less Solitude in their deck is a net positive for us. You never, ever want to counterspell here. If you're my opponent, you just never have counterspell. You never even think of the card counterspell. You just always let whatever happens, happen. No, you don't have the counterspell. You don't have the counterspell. Ugh. You didn't get the memo, opponent. That wasn't the way. Chat, I think they had the counterspell. Hello and welcome everybody. Today we are playing the best card from Wilds of Eldraine, Don't At Me, and that card is Beanstalk Wurm, the 5-mana 5/4 that has a pseudo Explorer as the adventure. You can pay 2, play an additional land, and then cast the Beanstalk Wurm from exile or wherever it goes. I don't care where it goes, but you can cast the Explorer and then play the creature. And if you have been following me in any capacity, especially on Twitter, but I don't know if I mentioned on YouTube or not, but if you've been following me at all, you'll know that I am obsessed with this card. Not necessarily because it's actually the best card for the deck, but just because I really like this effect. And I've always been a huge fan of the card Explorer, and I'm always looking for easy ways to add some additional threat density. The fact that this is a 5/4 reach creature is extremely relevant against the decks like Murktide and Scam, because against Murktide it has reach and can block Dragon's Rage Channeler, and it doesn't just die to a bolt, so like they have to expend a heat or like a block plus a bolt to get rid of it, so it always trades for either a really key card or 2 important cards from our opponent. And against Scam, it's a early ramp that we can use to try to bridge into the late game, and in the late game it gives us an extra card in hand, so to speak, but it's not one that they can take with Grief, for example. So just having Beanstalk Wurm in your deck helps you against those types of strategies. And is it better than Explorer? Honestly, I don't know. I have played a little bit with it, and I'm still trying to get an idea for it, and you may be of the opinion that it's better than Explorer, but guess what? I don't care. We're playing Beanstalk Wurm, and you can't stop me. And then, in the sideboard, we have some interesting things. Mainly, we're playing 3 copies of the card Oblivion Stone. This is because online, 4-color and 5-color decks playing all the nonsense piles and up the beanstalk, these decks have become very popular, and Oblivion Stone is the card of choice against those decks. I tested briefly with the card Nevinral's Disc, which is a similar effect, but the problem is you can't just play and pop Disc in the same turn, even though it costs a little less to do so, and O-Stone also hits Planeswalkers, so against that deck specifically, we're playing O-Stone, and I think it'll be fine if we have O-Stone in against like Scam or whatever. Yeah, it'll be a little hard to play and activate altogether, but it'll still have a very powerful effect regardless. And just we're targeting 4-color control with this list, or 5-color control now. It depends on what exactly it is that you're playing against, but they play between 4 and 5 colors. And then we're also playing a huge pile of endurances because I like respecting Living End and Murktide, and they can also come in and like more mid-range gameplay where we're like siding out our Urza Sagas and Amulets against decks where Saga's not great. You can just have endurances. That's kind of the idea. And then a couple of explosives for the Rhinos matchups. Everything else is pretty much standard. We are only playing 3 of Seju's. I would like to be able to fit a 4th, but I wanted to play Crumbling Vestige today as a pseudo 11th bounce land effect that also is a turn 1 untapped source. I've been liking the Vestige recently, so I'm going to stick with it, but everything else is pretty much standard. And of course, if you know me, I am a Cultivator Colossus hater, but again, I'm trying to beat 4-color control with this list, and 1 Colossus is part of that equation. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the league here. And we are in here on the draw, which is exactly what we want to see, of course. And not a fantastic hand. I mean, we have turn 1 Amulet, but we can be doing a lot better than this, so I'm just gonna mulligan. Yep, this hand's a lot better than that, so we'll keep this one. We kind of could just bottom Grazer, just go turn 1 either Saga or Forest Amulet and just play a turn 3 Ring into turn 4 Titan, and I don't hate that. On the draw, I feel like we kind of want the Grazer, though. We could also just put away the 1 Ring, which isn't that crazy to me, because this is just a turn 3 Titan with double Amulet if our Saga pops off. So it's kind of a toss-up, but I think I like bottoming the Ring here in case we're playing against a Ragavan deck. We have a pretty solid plan otherwise. Plains is not a Ragavan deck. Esper Sentinel, okay. Hey, look who joined the party. All right, we'll just lead on Grazer here, get this Saga into play. We'll play Amulet and pay the tax, and then just have a turn 3 Titan, and hopefully kill our Hammer Time opponent. Stoneforge, Cauldra. Yep, can't say I'm super surprised. Have a nice lining up hand here. So let's just play this Amulet out, pay the Sentinel tack, because we don't like when our opponent has free cards. I guess we could just Worm here just to put it in exile, but I guess it doesn't really do anything, so we'll just wait. We can double Titan next turn thanks to the Summer's Pact draw. Nice Cauldra complete. Would be a shame if you were just dead. Or are they attacking with the Cauldra here too? Are they just going in? I respect it. We're gonna block the Esper Sentinel because it's not worth sacrificing our Grazer's important life. I value Grazer way more highly here. Say if our opponent has a mainboard March or something, or Path to Exile, or I guess they could have Solitude, but I think we're beating Solitude pretty easily here, especially with Dryad as a draw. We'll just have all the mana in the world and double Titan, and the world will be our oyster. Hit 5. Oyster. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. So we're just gonna make a bunch of mana here, play a Beanstalk Wurm, or I guess I rather should say a plant beans, and we're just gonna do everything here. Our first planting beans of the day. I'm so proud. Let's see, we have 5 plus the extra land drop from this is 9. But we have Summoner's Pact in hand, so I guess we can afford to pay the extra 1 here. To beat the bean, you must cast a bean. Exactly. So you know what's up. Planting beans? No. Beanstalk Wurm. That's the bean that I want. Not planting beans. What I was thinking of up the beanstalk. We don't need to go up the beanstalk. We have the beans at the ready. No big deal. Just putting 2 Primeval Boys into play. Don't even worry about it. Not a problem. We'll float a white here, and then realize it doesn't matter because we're just slamming Titan into Titan using all 6 mana floating. So I guess we can tap the Golgari Rot Farm. Right, so our first Titan here is going to get... So if we didn't have the Summoner's Pact, we could have just not paid the Sentinel tax and had the 1 extra mana to be able to Tolari West and Growth Chamber and then transmute for Summoner's Pact and get a second Titan, but because we already have the Summoner's Pact, we don't have to worry about it. So we can just get Simic Growth Chamber Valakut here. Pact for... I mean, we could go for Colossus, but I'm into just killing our opponent when they're dead, so no need to go for overkill here. But we can just pack for Titan, play Titan, haste both, and our opponent will leave this mortal realm. And here we'll leave the Valakut in play because we're planning on doing some very NSFW things with Dryad, so... Too bad we won't have enough mana after all is said and done to also cast the Beanstalk Wurm, but it's already done its job. Sometimes an almost Explorer is just good enough, you know? So now, because we have 2 mana up, we can get Valakut Slayers and still be able to haste here, so... And even if they pathed or Solituded our Dryad right now, we could, in response, tap the Valakut for white using the Dryad ability and still be able to haste our at least 1 Titan, so doing pretty good here. So we'll float red-white and haste one of these bad boys, untap, and then haste the other bad boy. This is just the classic. This is what you want every game 1 with Amulet to be like. They should all be like this. All right, red zone. Even Grazer can get in there. Good blocker, good ramper, and good attacker. All right, let's go ahead and get some more Valakuts in play and finish this off. We'll go Valakut, or Vesuva copy Valakut and Boseiju, and then next we'll get some bounce lands and things. We could also just, double strike our Titans as well. Gonna save targets upstairs, always yes, always yes, always yes, always yield, and the stack will magically disappear, along with our opponent's 20-point life total. Are we done here? See the Solitude. Imagine they had Solitude Ephemerate, Surge of Salvation. Okay, so we're not killing them with the Valakuts. Not a big deal. We'll just double strike, double strike. This doesn't give them protection from damage from our creatures, right? Hexproof until end of turn, black or red sources. Yes, so I think we're just good to, double strike our Titans here. Just checking to make sure I know what's untapping here. We'll float white, red, untap, and now we get Sunhome and something else, and our opponent is still dead despite them having the Surge of Salvation, which was the best possible card they could have had here. We'll just get a green bounce land since we can float red and white with these 2. Oh wait, we're gonna need to choose not to yield to choose not to auto yes our Valakuts, but you can choose to not use Valakut's ability even if you target your own Grazer or whatever. So there's no chance where our opponent was going to make us kill our own creatures with Valakut there. So we want the explosives, we want the Bog. Boseiju. I like Dismember this matchup because they sometimes have things like Lavinia or Meddling Mage, and just randomly being able to dismember like a Pure Steel Paladin can be important. Of course, it can be awkward if they have a Giver runes or whatever, but I think that it's important to be able to beat some of those sideboard cards that you do see on occasion. Unfortunately, this is not really the matchup for Beanstalk Wurm. Explorer is not particularly good against them. It's also bad against Sentinel, and we're not trying to, outgrind their removal or whatever. We're just trying to kill them. So I kind of like O-Stone here, but not like a ton. I don't hate it. I'll try it. As for what we don't want, we can trim 1 Saga because they usually play Wear and Tear or March, and we can trim Expedition Map because it's just a really bad Sylvan Scrying without being tutored off of Urza Saga, so I'm not a big fan. We can trim a Cavern maybe and hit Submit. Our opponent does not play Mana Leak. That is what I'm saying. They just don't have it. All right, DL Jeff, let's see what you got. So what do you guys think? Are there any cards that you've been impressed with from the new set so far? I think in general, the consensus is that nothing in Amulet has really changed up until this point. So also, one thing I've been thinking about is trying to find like a playlist of non-copyrighted music that I can play. Right now I'm listening to some music off of Pandora, just listening to music for myself, but especially because I am trying to avoid copyright issues, I most certainly don't want to be playing copyrighted music. Thank you for the follow, by the way. So I've been thinking about trying to find a playlist of non-copyright music, but I don't know. I've always had mixed feelings about it because sometimes I'll like tune into streamers and they'll be playing music that I'm not a big fan of, and I would rather be able to listen to my own music, but I can't mute the stream because then I can't hear what they're saying. So sometimes I think it's better to just have no music in the background, but I'm curious as to your opinions. I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Evac? I probably am saying that totally wrong. Interesting. We are one untapped source away from having a ring potentially here, and ring buys a lot of time and draws us the things that we're missing. Explosives is pretty good against them. I mean, I feel like we can keep this, but it's definitely on the weaker side. I think I am going to try it, though. We have Grazer as a blocker. If they were to have, like, a crazy turn 1 Ornithopter, turn 2 Double Hammer type start. They mold the 5, by the way. Yeah, I think that this hand's probably okay. A little on the weaker side, but we definitely don't care about their, Esper Sentinel, so that's nice. We definitely need to hit another land drop here in the next 2 turns. Honestly, we could even just play Explosives on 1 and pop it this upcoming turn, depending on what our opponent does, and we'd still be in really good shape. So there's Ornithopter, the Menace, and Stoneforge. Okay, see what they want to get. They just get a hammer here, or are they going for the Cauldron Plane once again? They get a hammer. Our double engineered explosives loves that. Useless attack, but we will block anyways. All right, Bounce Lane's a good pickup. Kind of think we just slam the explosives on 1 here. Maybe we even pay for the Sentinel. Just like play explosives on 1, pay, and then pass. I mean, that gives them the chance to kill our explosives, which we don't love, but we could even then just play explosives on 1 and pop it this next upcoming turn, and they can just draw, since we're going to be playing tap land anyways, unless we spike the land off the top for the ring. How necessary is it for us to just hold up explosives on 1? They could have Sigarda's Aid, Hammer, Shadow Sphere, and even then we're not taking, like, lethal damage. I kind of don't think we really need the explosives on 1 here, and if they were to just immediately, like, exile our explosives, I don't think I want to trade my Grazer for their Sentinel, although that could be wrong. I think I'm just playing and paying the tax, and if they want to do something that interacts with our explosives, I just don't care. We'll just play it nice and slow. We're playing Control Amulet right now. Amulet would be a fantastic top deck. See if they have the Cauldron in hand here. Activate Inkmoth. Sure. Okay. So here, I think we just want to block a regular creature. I'm not super scared about 1 poison damage. I don't think it's meaningful, whereas 1 regular damage seems somewhat meaningful. So, interesting. So I guess we just play land and pass and just hold up explosives, as opposed to playing out another one. We could play explosives on 2. I guess explosives on 2 is good against Pure Steel Paladin, but it also taps us out of this one. I don't really see a reason to do anything crazy here. I'm just going to play land and pass. They don't need to know about second explosives. I don't have like a specific Discord for just my stuff. I could see if I don't know my Discord like gamer tag or whatever. I think it's just like Red Face Menace or something. I don't even have Discord on this particular setup. I have it on my laptop, but for what it's worth, the graphics that you see on screen, I actually made them myself. So, and we'll just again take our block here. Our opponent just passes it back. Totally fine. Oh yes. Oh yes, Oblivion Stone. I mean, you know what? We're doing it. This has been the slowest game I've ever played against this deck, but it just does not matter. Here we go. Man, now they can't even hit us for the 1 poison. Crazy. Springleaf Drum. More fodder for the explosives, please. Shadow Spear. That I will gladly destroy. All right, let's lose our 1 life here. Draw some more cards. I do have a Twitter. My Twitter is @FaceToMenace. I can share it in the chat in a second. I'm trying to think if we need to do anything here. Opponent doesn't have any white mana up, so we could slam a Titan and just not pay for the Sentinel, which I don't hate. We also have Beseiju as a mega backup here, so I think we're playing a Titan and attacking with it and just letting our opponent have the free card, because at this point we just don't care anymore. And then maybe we just pop explosives immediately. I don't know, we'll do it live. Here's 1 Primeval Titan on the stack. Yep, this feels like it's going to be very difficult for our opponent to come back from. I guess if they have exactly Solitude here, we kind of get got, but most of these lists don't play Solitude, so I'm not really super interested in playing around it. So yes to this. We'll get second Beseiju, and I don't really want to get Saga because they could just kill it, like with some sort of disenchant effect, so I'm just going to set up Valakut preemptively. That way we can guarantee that we have explosives or Beseiju held up here. And then I guess we'll just discard. I kind of feel like we don't need an extra ring. I feel like we can discard a ring. Rather keep the Oblivion Stone just in case everything goes horribly awry. Let me see if I can grab my Twitter handle real quick and post it. That is my Twitter handle right there. Win the match. Cool. Look away, do something, look back. We already won. Well, I guess it's that easy. And we got a mulligan. Playing against Kahira, actually, though. This is probably a control deck, like blue-white control. Is this a keep against a blue-white control deck? I don't know. It's debatable. TOS is actually kind of actively good here, as well as Beanstalk Wurm and the Ring. I'm going to keep, I think, but it's definitely close. All right, we'll lead on TOS Pass. Our opponent has Zagoth Triome, so probably playing the Bring to Light version of 4-color control, I would assume. See if they have the Wren. Immediately has the Wren. That's not great news, but you know, Ring. All right, well, I guess we're going to discard here. I mean, we don't have to. We could just go like TOS and hope to spike an untapped green source, but kind of feel like we need to get something going. So I'm going to go ahead and play out the green bounce land here. We'll just have to go to discard and pitch something. Probably just one of the TOS maybe, or a duplicate Ring, since, I don't know. I mean, double Ring is better if they have one of their leyline bindings. Kind of hate to pitch a TOS, but I feel like we have to. Maybe Sunhome's not that super important here, but Sunhome is our untapped source as well. I think I'm just pitching a TOS. Feels horrible, but cool. I appreciate the the input, and we did spike the untapped green source here. What is the chance our opponent just slams counterspell? The chances, I don't care. I am playing Dryad anyways. Snap resolves, love to see it. We could play Garrison here. I feel like playing TOS maybe is better. We could just play land Beanstalk Wurm this upcoming turn, even if they do get rid of our Dryad, which I don't hate. Like, playing Garrison and bouncing, like, Forest would only be good if we top deck exactly Titan and just wanted to slam it, but there's really no reason to do that necessarily. Even still, we can play land, plant some beans, and then play land One Ring. So it's like, we still have our curve well thought out here, but if our Dryad were to die, having T-West and play means that we can go ahead and transmute. So I don't really know what that's worth. Depending on whether our opponent is playing Counterspell or not, we could transmute for Summoner's Pact or Cavernous Souls. If they have Counterspell, then getting the Cavern makes a lot of sense, but otherwise probably Summoner's Pact is the pick. Maybe even Urza Saga, but just having the ability to transmute in the future is kind of nice. Prismatic Ending. So our Dryad did die, so planning to be able to pay double blue here was probably a good idea. Now the question is, do we have the time to plant beans and transmute this turn, or should we just slam the Worm and try to attack their Wrenn? Yeah, four color is not one of my favorite decks to play against. I'm notoriously bad at beating this deck too. I don't actually know how to win. As weird as that sounds. You could play land, plant, bounce, and then not be able to play the ring. So we're either hard casting Beanstalk Wurm to pressure Wrenn, or we're transmuting and planting some beans here. I don't even know what we transmute for though. Maybe just Urza Saga? I feel like getting the extra land play here is going to be a better bet, so let's do it this way. Next turn we can play the One Ring or plant some beans. Like, this Wrenn matters. It's obviously an engine, but if we're not literally getting rid of it and stopping them from having a fetch land every turn, then it doesn't actually do much. Of course, they have Prismatic Ending, so they do have something they can recur, but like, I don't think that we can really worry about Wrenn here. Plus, honestly, our sideboard chances are going to be a lot better here. They're playing the Zagoth Triome Hallowed Fountain version, which makes me think they probably are playing Counterspell. Does that mean we want to set up Cavern for either Colossus or Titan? Do we want to just get Saga? I feel like just getting Saga here makes a lot of sense to me. That way we can play Saga and Ring and like start trying to present threats and have creatures on board to pressure Wrenn, which we will eventually need to get rid of. I don't know. We're just going to need to go to sideboard here, grab our Oblivion Stones, and go ham. That's kind of the idea. Game 1 is not going to be fantastic for us. They have a ring of their own, eh? Would not have protected their Wrenn from an attack from one strange little worm guy, but, you know, we could just play Worm here and give them something to think about. It would probably just make them pop their Wrenn, but, I mean, I don't really hate that. They're holding up Leyline Binding here as well. I mean, in the case that they're going to Leyline Binding, I kind of think we want to have them binding the least offensive thing, which is a worm, so we're just going to do this. And if they don't have an answer other than just a binding the worm, then we'll be at a net positive here. I don't know, maybe we should have mulliganed. Them just having the turn 2 Wrenn is always rough for us. So the Beanstalk. Card of the hour, card of the week, up the Beanstalk, 2 mana whenever it or whatever enters the battlefield, or you cast a spell with a mana of 5 or greater, they get to draw. So this will just very quickly refill their hand, even though it replaces itself on entering the battlefield anyways. Second Beanstalk, huh? What is the likelihood we can make our opponent deck themselves? Probably pretty low, right? This is already starting to feel like there's no way we could possibly win, even if we just drew perfectly from here. Like, I'm already kind of like, how do we beat this? But at the same time, one of the ways that you can actually beat the 4-color deck is them timing out. And it's not a win condition I usually like to go for, but I think that in this case, it's kind of warranted just because they're already playing a very slow deck, and like, that's just something that they have to worry about while they're playing. So we'll attack this Wrenn, try to get it further from ultimate, see if they want to do something about this. This is the power of Beanstalk Wurm, by the way. It's very subtle, and it's probably not going to be winning us the game here, but forcing them to use an answer on a stupid Beanstalk Wurm that already ramped us is really nice. Whereas a random card from Explore might have just been another basic forest, right? But here we have an actually relevant thing that they have to answer. Like, of course, we're not winning the game because of this, but the fact that they have one less Solitude in their deck, oh, they're ephemerating now too. The fact that they have one less Solitude is a net positive for us. That said, I don't know that this is really the matchup where Beanstalk Wurm has the most impact. I mean, we're still going to be keeping Beanstalk in game 2 and 3 probably. Speaking of, we might just deploy Beanstalk here. They can't immediately binding our Ring though, so I think I'm more on the just play Ring. And if we top deck an untap source, we can plant some beans and play another land and still have Saga activation up. Just guarantee our extra card here, I think. There we go. So we'll plant some beans. And again, this will just later on be a threat that they have to do something about in a very annoying way. And in the worst kind of way, they'll have to deal with this. So also, I don't know why I was thinking about just casting out Beanstalk Wurm there as opposed to playing Ring when they have a Ephemerate on rebound. That would have just been a really stupid mistake. But I'm not the kind of person who can never make mistakes. Trust me. That's not me. How are they at 5? How is their life points at 5? How did that happen? Third Beanstalk? Sure. Not a problem. The Ring. Yeah, I mean, at some point, they're more likely to lose to themselves than they are likely to lose to us, you know. I'm predicting at some point we will be 10 minutes ahead of them just because of how slow it is to actually play this stupid deck. At least they don't have Omnath yet. Luckily for us, the ring does not give their Planeswalkers protection, so if we want to attack Ren and force them to block with their Solitude, we can most certainly do that. They have Binding for the ring. Surprise, surprise. I am absolutely shocked. Can you tell by my YouTuber thumbnail react face how shocked I am? Hey, that just means that in the future, if we get a Boseiju, we can just unlock a One Ring and not get protection, but at least be able to maybe get a card if our opponent doesn't have another landline binding in their 1,000 cards they have in hand. I would like to pressure one Ren in 6, please. This Ren does not even matter. They have infinite cards. Like, maybe I shouldn't even be attacking Ren, to be honest. We'll make a useless Saga construct that basically does nothing. We'll go and search for an artifact that probably doesn't matter. Maybe we just map for another Saga and play it, to be honest. I really don't hate that. I think that's what I'm about here. I clicked the wrong land. I clicked the wrong land. That was not the plan. Deck, that was not the plan. Okay, well, we have a Slayer Stronghold now, so that's cool, I guess. Let's attack them, and then if they block, we'll just make a little Saga construct here and force them to use up another Solitude, or they can just take it. That's fine, too. Oh, that's right. Ring. Yeah, yep, that's right. Of course. Yes, ring. Yep, that's the thing. Forgive me, I'm just derping against an unbeatable board state. Hard to be paying full attention here when they've got this going on. All of this. Honestly, I'm not even gonna play around Supreme Verdict. I'm just feeling lazy enough that I want to F6 here and get my sweet, sweet time incremental value. So we're just gonna chill. We're good. All the time in the world. Not a problem. Kind of wish this One Ring were like magically in play from our hand so we don't have to actually cast it. Just draw 3 from a Fury. Seems fair. Seems all fine and good and well. 2 and 2, huh? We're getting an infamous Rin Ping here? Are we getting a Rin Ping? That would be one of the coolest things I've seen all day. Just casual tossing away a Rin. No, just, 1 mana board wipe. Cool. Love it. Love it. All right, let's force them to use a Leyline Binding here. They're drawing with a ring because they could never lose in a million years. So they're also gaining 4 life every turn with this stupid Omnath. So now we can't just pressure their life total. We are pretty much 0% to win here, but it is worth my time to take their time, which, again, not a strategy that I typically like, but it is one of the ways to win this matchup, and on Magic Online, it's valid. So, I don't know what you want from me. Play a ring, haste a dude. Actually, hasting here doesn't make sense because they just kill it with the Fury, so we'll just, we'll be on extra good behavior here. Are you guys enjoying this riveting modern gameplay? Anybody's game, Not activating the ring until we absolutely have to because our opponent is probably going to Leyline Binding at the most inopportune time. Doing this when it makes them tap mana is just strictly better for us. Yes, all the triggers. Honestly, I guess at this point I'm just going to activate it so we can F6 and not have to spend all this time. Click, 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 click. There we go. There's priority. Leyline Binding. Oh no! They have 1 more card than we do. Now that they bindinged our ring, we can't get our 2-for-1. How are we ever going to win? Every second our opponent spends taking extra game actions is just strictly worse than right-click, attack all, pass the turn. They should be doing nothing other than plussing Rin, getting back a fetch land, attacking with everything, and pass. Nothing else matters. Although, I guess exiling our ring matters a little bit, but Amulet doesn't. Literally nothing else matters. We'll slam a Cultivator Colossus, I suppose. We want to maybe be able to haste it, but whatever. Whatever. We're never doing anything with this, actually. And if we haste it, it would just die, so here's a Cultivator. Is it going to be good enough to turn the tides of this game? Maybe if we had Oblivion Stone in our deck, it could, but we don't. We found a Titan, though. That ain't nothing. At least we have cards in hand now, so that's kind of nice. Keep a bounce land in hand and pick up an extra forest here. Play Forest Grazer so we can block their onslaught of random dudes and just yield it back to them. That's my whole turn. See the Solitude, Leyline Binding, same difference. They have 14 cards in deck. 14 cards. Just, it's very normal for a modern deck to see the entire deck in one game, This is totally normal and fair. Don't worry yourself over this. I mean, I guess if we were to top deck a Dryad, there's a chance. We go Dryad into Titan, get some Valcuts, and they just, don't have Solitude or the 4th Leyline Binding. They already used 1 Solitude on a stupid Beanstalk Wurm, so... Fairy's gone. I don't see any discarded Solitudes, so there's that. Yeah, I don't know how a format adapts to a deck like this, to be honest, but I guess we'll find out. Why? I guess they have to find the land. Okay, I was like, why are you activating Ring? They have to find the land to then discard to bolt us again, and then we'll be dead. We're just a casual 6 minutes up on them. 5 minutes, I guess. No, they're playing a Solitude as well, because... why would they just discard a land and bolt us to kill us? No, they have to take all these extra game actions. That's on them if they want to do that. And here's the bolt. Yep. Oh, believe me, opponent, I was under no illusion that I could actually win that game. The whole point was to waste your time because you're allowing me to. Which, again, Not an approach that I particularly like to have to take, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know, there's not much that can be said about all of that. Trim one summoner's pack, trim some cavernous souls because I disrespect counter magic entirely. Torpor Orb. Yeah, the best sideboard card for this matchup is Oblivion Stone. That is just a fact. The best one is Oblivion Stone. Can trim an Amulet and a Saga at least, maybe two, because they have Teferi to bounce our Sagas and Leyline Bindings and Force of Vigors and stuff, so we just don't care about all that. I don't think Amulet's bad here. It's not great, but it's not bad. We can trim down to two. Let's play the ultra super slow game of here's all my clunky things plus Oblivion Stone to ruin your board state, so we'll keep this. And as opposed to leading on Amulet, since they could have Prismatic Ending, we're going to play tap land and then go Beanstalk on turn 2. Explore, baby. Explore. Play Talari West. Pass it back. Waste no time. Torpor Orb is an interesting option. The problem is, anything that you play for this matchup also has to be able to potentially answer an Elesh Norn, and so that's why I like O-Stone and effects similar to O-Stone. I don't know why I played that over Talari West. That's why you need effects like O-Stone and like Nevinral's Disc and Tear Sunder, because those cards do things in the matchup, but also can answer an Elesh Norn, which just you automatically lose to if you don't have an answer. So, Rin. Turn 2 Rin again. Cool. Love it. So we'll play T-West here. And now we go ahead and play out the Amulet because it doesn't actually matter. If we were to top deck Titan, we could just slam Bounce Land into Titan this upcoming turn. But if they have the Leyline Binding or Prismatic Ending, I literally don't care. So that's cool. Holding this O-Stone until we can play and activate it in the same turn. So here we're not playing out Beseiju, and we're casting our free 5-mana 5/4 that our opponent has to Solitude. Or Leyline Binding, or whatever it is they want to do. If they binding it, I don't even know if we Beseiju the binding, to be honest. Maybe we don't. They don't even choose the binding. Interesting. We probably do have to Beseiju the binding just to try to pressure Rin and like force an answer, but this will put their Rin down to 1, so that's nice, I guess. Now we just need a 1 ring of our own. 1 ring off the top, please and thank you. Let's go. That is not a 1 ring. But does that give us Titan for 8? I'm counting. So we're 1 short. We can go ahead and get our O-Stone into play, I suppose. Not that I really want to. Let's start by doing the obvious thing and attacking Ren, since this damage will go through, since they are the ones that have protection, not the Planeswalker. I guess we just play Amulet out, and then next turn we can do Titan things. Not playing out the Beseiju because I want to be able to Beseiju a Leyline. We'll just sit on this O-Stone until the end of time. Literally. They pinged our Beanstalk Wurm. They're gonna have to ping and bolt it. Dude, this Beanstalk Wurm took out a Rin and made our opponent discard a card and ramped us. I'd like to see it explore do that. What can I say? Card's just busted. You know, pretty decent card. Okay, and they have to discard as well. Nice 1 ring, I guess. Hey, speaking of 1 rings, interesting. I mean, I guess we still just slam Titan. They could have a counterspell up, but we didn't see a counterspell in all of last game, so I'm not, like, super worried about it. Also, if they expect us to be tapping out for Summoner's Pact... Oh, they have Beseiju. I guess we're playing a 1 ring then. Sure. And we're probably just transmuting for another bounce land at this point. Assuming we have the... Oh, we can't do that. Or we can't play the ring. So I guess we are just playing ring then. Man, do we even pick up T-West? I guess not. I guess we pick up Valakut to protect it from Beseiju and slam our ring here. And not activate it until our opponent's turn because they could have Leyline Binding. Although I guess if they Leyline Binding now, we could Beseiju it immediately, but... I'd rather Beseiju it on their turn, I think, so that if they get a tap land, they can't use the mana. I'm in no rush. Clearly, I'm in no rush. There's a Beseiju. I guess now we ring just to make absolutely certain. Endurance is not bad. Endurance is not bad. Now we have Flash Endurance. Actually, hold on. Before we do this, let me set a stop here because I think I want to Endurance them right now to get rid of these Beseijus so they can't just like run them back. 1 Endurance, please. And thank you. Also, the Endurance plus their 1 ring represents an actual clock, so that's not to be ignored. I mean, of course, they can just have Teferi to bounce their ring, or a Leyline Binding, you know, or answer for our Endurance, and then it doesn't matter as much. Charmaw, that's a card. Goodbye, Talari West, I suppose. I barely knew you. We could top deck, like, a Titan here and cast it. Expecting Leyline Binding here. Or we could just top deck Summoner's Pact. That's cool, too, I guess. We're gonna ring here to bait out the Leyline, or they don't have it. That's also fine, I suppose. So we make 2 mana, we have 6, use 2 down to Beanstalk Wurm, so we have 4, play Bounce. We still have, not Bounce, play Valakut, we can still Titan. I mean, I'm okay with that, I think. And again, then we have just a random stupid 5/4 that they have to do something about for literally no reason, but they do have to do something. Ephemerate Charmaw. Oh, shut up. Oh, stop it. Stop that. Okay, well, I guess we're not doing that. We'll Beanstalk Wurm here. Honestly, I'm just going to play the Valakut too. We could top deck a land, and if we don't, it's whatever. We're 1 short of just casting our Beanstalk Wurm, which would trade with our opponent's Charmaw, by the way. Oh wait, playing this I always forget the stupid rebound on Ephemerate. What am I doing? I'm trying my best to lose this game, guys. What is wrong with me, dude? Playing Omnath, sure. Yeah, playing out that Valko was really bad. I'm over here talking about potentially top decking a land to cast Titan when I'm literally just playing into free Stone Rain for no reason. Seems fine. Looks like they may not have the binding for our ring, which I guess is nice. Maybe they have Solitude here. Slamming O-Stone and activating it. Oh, bouncing our Endurance? That's even better for us. Or maybe bouncing our ring. No, they bounce their own ring. I guess that makes sense too. Beanstalk. Yes, play more permanents into Oblivion Zone, please. Yeah, we're not gonna besage or anything here, so. And they can't leyline us with this Zagoth Triumph, so we're just getting a bunch of free cards here, I suppose. No way to get a Titan into play. Yeah, I don't think there's a way. So we can go Stronghold, Bean. We could just play out Oblivion Stone at this point, but then if they have any way to destroy it, we're kind of just, like, dying. So I think we're just gonna play a Beanstalk Wurm from Exile here, and just pass it back, and just continue to play the patient waiting game. Eventually we'll draw our second O-Stone. I mean, I do secretly think that Beanstalk is actually doing actively good work here. Oh, we don't have a forest. Sad. Usually I play more than 4, but I decided to play Crumbling Vestige and none in the sideboard, so not having more basics kind of sucks. More Beanstalks. We're now at double the time of our opponent. Although if our opponent gets enough of an insurmountable board state, it won't matter. One ring survives O-Stone, which is annoying, but it also clocks our opponent. If they're expecting to be able to bounce it in a couple turns with Teferi, they will be sorely mistaken. One of the other things about this matchup that's kind of annoying is, like, it just takes forever, dude. But, I mean, we don't have to do anything, so we'll just, you know, wait. Do they know about the Beseiju? Is that why they haven't, like, cast a Leyline Binding yet? Are we just going to be able to draw our 3 cards here, even if they binding? No problem whatsoever. Guess we play a Vestige here and just slam Titan. See if they have yet, if they want to go ahead and use a Beseiju here. I was going to say have yet another Beseiju, but they probably picked one up from Rin, I would assume. And if they did, then we can just pack for an Endurance and cast it. We have 3 Titans, double Summoner's Pack in hand with 2 O-Stones waiting and ready. Yep, and they do choose to go ahead and fire off that Beseiju now, so we'll just go with no on this, since we know there's nothing left. Make it green. I think we probably just want to Endurance here, as weird as it is, because it taps us out, but I think it's going to be the right thing to do. At some point, we'd like to be able to Endurance ourselves, but this also lets us continue to hold up Beseiju, which is cool, I suppose. Oh, wait, stupid ring, dude. I freaking hate the ring. I guess we're gonna Endurance ourselves now. And I think we just want to go ahead and plant some more beans. They can Beseiju this, of course, but if they do that and we find a, maybe we're just attacking here? Because they have to do something about this. They have to block with something, or they lose their Rin, so this is definitely a good attack. Or they could Solitude, I suppose. Nope, just trading Charmaw. I'm happy with this. Look, Beanstalk Wurm doing the work that we want it to be doing. Very annoyed that the One Ring stops us from Endurancing them. Definitely matters. I'm still playing like absolute garbage. This is like the 3rd or 4th mistake I've made in this match. This is what happens when the game goes so long that nothing matters, is you just stop thinking. We might just lose our own ring at this point. If they attack with Omnath, I will double block. Lose our 4. Hey, we found a bounce land, huh? Alright, I mean, if we draw, we're dead in 2 turns to the ring, but that's a price I'm willing to pay, I think. So we found a Dryad, which is what we're looking for here. So I guess we want to play... Oh wait, we only have 1 mana, so we just have to play a bounce land here. They have Beseiju, right? We could play land into plant, I suppose. That lets us get ahead on mana. I think it's going to be the play. Probably we'll end up having to pack for an Endurance here again. Plant some beans. Get the bean train rolling. Alright, so we'll go ahead and play a bounce lane here. I guess Rot Farm being the least valuable. See if they want to go ahead and Beseiju this or no. It's about time to Endurance them, I think. Let's not use this. We do need to Endurance them during our turn because they have the Teferi here. I guess we could pick up Basic Forest and shuffle it back into our deck with Endurance so they can't keep Besaging us like this. I feel like that's counterproductive though. We'll pick up the Beseiju and we'll pack for Endurance. Endurance them now to get rid of this Beseiju if we can. Our opponent is thinking. Do they actually have Counterspell here? I was kind of under the impression that they don't play Counterspell, to be honest, based on the first game, but they have Fire and Ice. Maybe they do play Counterspell, who knows? Okay, we'll Endurance them, exiling a Titan. Those are a little harder to cast, but we will Endurance them, and it'll be their go. We are probably just going to lose to our own ring here. As unfortunate as that is. We can send both at Teferi, I guess. No, we can't do that, because we don't want to just lose to Rin Ping plus this thing. I mean, at some point we have to draw another copy of the One Ring so we can reset it, right? Presumably. Or they could, Solitude us, and we'll gain life that way. I'm happy with that. Presumably they don't have a Beseiju now. I think we have to discard... probably one of the O-Stones and one of the Beseijus, just in case they do have another Beseiju for our Growth Chamber. They Rin Ping Endurance and Bolt, okay. Taking 7 down to 6, losing 5. They Rin Ping us. I think we're just dead now. Yeah, we're just dead exactly now, unfortunately. Cool. Fun match. Dude, Rin plus Beseiju got us, unfortunately. Well, that's alright. We'll just move on with our lives. I have to still wonder why Rin is even in the modern format at this point. Honestly, I thought it was going to get banned a while ago, back when Creativity was the top deck. Just every soup freaking, 4 or 5 color pile is playing Rins, and it just lets them do whatever the heck they want. It gives them a win con. makes games take forever because they can just sit there and uptick a Rin and uptick a Rin and uptick a Rin. There's constant fetching, so it causes in-game problems with searching as well. Like, come on. The only reason we lost the game was because of the Rin Boseiju engine. All right, we'll be on the draw with a weird hand. If this was a basic forest, I'd probably snap keep this, but we can go turn 1 Slayers, turn 2 either Saga or Simic, turn 3 play Dryad, and try to go from there, but it's like a little slow. If we go turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, get an Amulet, we have 4, 5, 6. So any +1 ramp spell or Titan gets us a turn 3 Titan here with double pact, though. I think we can do better. This hand's not much better, to be honest, but, we'll ship that one back. Okay, this hand does something, so we'll keep it. We'll bottom one of the Grazers, I think, and one of the extra lands. Keeping Boseiju in case it matters against what our opponent's doing, and of course it does. Playing against Hammer again, huh? Well, we'll lead on our Grazer here. And I think here we want to put in T-West and hold on to our bounce land in case we were to top deck an Amulet. Might have to sneak this Boseiju into play this upcoming turn here. Oh, Zabad. So our opponent's playing Scales then. Well, it's definitely a different matchup than the Hammer deck, but still probably a good matchup. Play Cavern naming. We want to name Plant here because that fixes for both our Worm and for Cultivator Colossus, so gotta make that 5/4 reach uncounterable also, Just Cavern on Plant, don't worry about it. We probably want to go ahead and hit this Hardened Scales, I think, so we're just gonna Boseiju this now, I think. Ozolith is mildly annoying for sure. Forest ain't bad. I guess we play Forest. I guess our best top deck at this point would be the Ring. Math-wise, I don't know how we're looking here. We can block Inkmoth Nexus if they choose to go all in with it because Grazer does have reach. Ooh, they're playing Ozolith. I know they're playing the new Cauldron card from Wilds, but I don't know a whole lot else about it. For some reason, I was under the impression they may not be playing the new Ozolith anymore, but now I think about it more in depth. I seem to recall Aspiring Spike saying something about them playing a split of Ozolith and Agatha's Cauldron. So right now they can sack. Oh, they put the counters on the Ravager. Okay. Right now they can't. They have 6. We have to block the Nexus here for sure. Otherwise, we're just dead. Again, best top deck is absolutely the One Ring by and far away. So let's hope for that one. If we draw Amulet, we might just have to pack for Grazer. I think we still have to pack for Grazer. Something that can block Nexus. It just has to be Grazer. I don't know if that we could really win from that point. I guess we could maybe try to transmute for Boseiju or something, or hold on, we can play Valakut, pack for Dryad, and get transmute for something. Can't block the Nexus. Oh wait, we can't transmute if we play Dryad. We only get 1 trigger, so I guess we're just packing for Grazer. Honestly, I think we're just going to game 2 here. Let's just go to game 2. All right, we want the O-Stones and Explosives here for sure. We want the Boseiju, and I think Dismember is probably good against them, although it can be kind of awkward. Forcing them to take action immediately can be a good thing. They don't need Colossus or the Worm. They do play Haywire Might, so trimming on Sagas makes sense to me. And Explosives, probably not Explosives, Expedition Map as well. And then, I don't know, one more, I guess Cavern. Going down to 28 lands is not a whole lot though. Can maybe trim, maybe O-Stone's not that great against them. We'll just keep 2. Switch up my music a little bit. All right, on the play. Well, we have Grazer here and Natural Boseiju to try to take care of what they've got going on, but we don't really have a particularly fast start. We don't have a Ring to lean on. I guess a Ring also does get hit by Might as well, but I just feel like we can get a better hand than this. Maybe it's wrong to mulligan this, though. It's close. We don't have a 3-drop to play either. I think I mulligan, but, kind of weird. This hand is better. Gonna hope that they don't have a Might. Probably bottoming the Sonar's Pact. Probably want to lead on Forest? No, we're definitely keeping. I don't know what we want to lead on here. If we lead on Forest the Amulet, we can play turn 2 Dryad if we top deck exactly bounce land, but we're only just slightly above 40% to even do that. I mean, it's still worth probably playing into, though, because we're going to end up playing the Amulet next turn regardless if we don't play it now. So I guess there's some argument to going Valakut next turn, Amulet TOS, and having a guaranteed turn 3 Dryad no matter what, but very small potatoes, probably. All right, we'll get a tap land out of the way. And if our opponent doesn't have interaction and we draw a bounce land, we might just have a turn 4 Titan here with Dryad Valakut already set up. Looks like they may not have the Might. They could still have, I guess there was a point in time where they played Force, but maybe they don't play Force anymore. I don't know. Bounce land? Hey, we found the bounce land. That's great. All right, well, we're playing Dryad into Tolaria West here, I think. That way, if they have removal for specifically Dryad, then we can still Titan this upcoming turn. But we will have lethal, so just gotta see what happens. They're 1 turn away from popping the Saga for Might, which is a bit of a blessing for us. I feel like if they had a Force, they might have used it already, unless they top decked it, so could be wrong on that. Ravager, Could still have Dismember as well, I suppose. I mean, they just have to have Force here or they're dead. Vestige is a funny pickup. You can play that one instead of Bounce Land here. We'll float a white. Still probably want to play Bounce Land here, though, because we have 6, so we can get another Valakut and haste off of that. Guess we can also force them to use Ravager now. I guess if all really went south, we could Transmute TOS. West for like explosives. Okay, so they're saving the Ravager. Not like I really care, to be honest, but you know. See, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leave the white floating. And they didn't have force because otherwise they wouldn't have done all this with a Ravager. So I think we're just killing them, which I don't mind. I absolutely don't mind that. Yeah, at this point we're just sending all the triggers upstairs. There we go. Game 3. On the draw is not super fantastic, but you know, what can you do? I feel like we kind of need more Sagas. That's going to be really bad against like Might, but we need to have a fast enough hand to like outpace them. Maybe with O-Stone and Explosives and like Ring, that's not as important, but no, I think I still want to play around Might. So we'll just run it back. Hand's kind of weird, but I mean, it kind of works. I mean, we just get mighted into the Stone Age here, but like if we go Saga, I guess we can Vesuva their land potentially if we need to. I guess we're going to keep this. It's not fantastic, though. If they just go turn 1 Might, we're kind of in not great shape. But yeah, I'm going to live in no fear and just slam the Saga and pass. See if they have the Might plus activate on turn 2. Oh, they're tapping a green, so maybe not. Okay, so no Might yet. No Might yet. And no 0-drop to play into the Springleaf from, which is good for us. Grazer is also good for us. I don't mind a Grazer, that's for sure. On 3 cards, do we play around Force or not? I feel like we probably don't. Rather play around Might here by getting a second Saga in play, just in case. Saga of their own. Patchwork, sure. Damping Sphere. I guess that kind of affects us a little bit. Probably won't have enough green. Interesting. I guess we can make some chump blockers. So we'll let this one go. Do this. Well, we definitely want to play out a bounce land here. Let's go with Rot Farm. Question is, do we pick up the Saga or no? That's a good question. We can Vesuva a green source to have double green for our Titan through the Damping Sphere, but we might actively want the second Amulet here. I don't know, I think it's kind of close. I think I'm picking this up and then holding up Dismember here. Definitely a close situation though. Just gonna chump block this Automaton for a couple turns, land a ring, and kind of try to go from there. Find Zabaz. Not a bad one. Zabaz. They do play it. Oh, they have to pay 1 extra because of the because of the Damping Sphere. Kind of funny. Kind of feel like we could just go ahead and Dismember the Zabaz now, but nah. It's probably better in our hand, to be honest. Wonder what they're getting with Saga. Maybe Ozolith. Definitely Vesuvaing our forest, not theirs. And then next turn we can play the ring, I guess. Oh, they're quite possibly getting a Might here. Is that a problem? Definitely not ideal. We can still top deck an untapped source or an answer to Sphere and maybe still get there. So, nah, we'll just pass it back. Just drawing mono bounce lands against the Damping Sphere. Not the most fantastic look, but Welding Jar. Okay, just play the Ozolith. That's fine, I suppose. Saving this Dismember for when they eventually target a Walking Ballista with a Ozolith or modular ability or something like that. They don't have red to activate the destroy target artifact you control mode of Zabaz, which is worth noting. Oh, they do with the Springleaf Drum. I missed that. So they're destroying the Patchwork, which I am okay with. Oh, they just have lethal here because we can't block. Huh. Well, we can let this happen and then Dismember, not to kill it, but to shrink it, and then untap and play the ring, and then we're not dead. So, because now we don't care about their... Oh, wait, Dismember gets around Welding Jar because it doesn't deal the damage. It would have actually just killed the Nexus. I forgot about that. It's a really weird rules interaction. Oh, well. I mean, we're still not dead, but that's a very, very small interaction. So, in case you missed it. So, Welding Jar gives a Regeneration Shield. Regeneration prevents dying or damage... It prevents damage from killing Inkmoth Nexus or destroy effects, but Dismember does not damage or destroy. It just makes it into a 0/0 or less, and then it dies due to state-based actions. So you actually can Dismember Inkmoth Nexus through a Welding Jar, and it still works, but I totally missed the interaction in the moment. Oh well, would have been cool, but at least now you know. Plus, we just get to slam a ring here, so it's not the worst deal in the world. We'll pick up a bounce land, I suppose. Not playing the ring, the Amulet first here, because then we wouldn't have enough mana to play the ring thanks to the Sphere attack. Titan is not horrible. I guess we attack since we have protection. Dang it. We might lose because I didn't Dismember there thinking that it didn't work, even though I freaking knew the interaction. That's definitely on me. That's definitely on me. At least it's a good learning moment. They just pass back. I'm okay with that. Works for me. Okay. All right. We need a Boseiju, I suppose. No, Boseiju doesn't particularly... Oh, Grazer's great. Grazer's fantastic. Okay. How about another ring, too? Force. Okay. So they do have Force. Another Grazer's equally as fantastic. Well, I guess we can play... So if we play Amulet, then... whatever. We can just play another Grazer next turn. So we'll play Amulet and then Grazer in a land and pick up something. Again, I wish we had any land that wasn't a freaking bounce land, but it's whatever. We'll just pick up... I guess we can pick up Vesuva, as if we draw another Amulet, we can use it to copy Forest and still make multiple green mana. I'm not afraid of them, like, destroying our Forest. We can also Vesuva to copy their Inkmoth Nexus for an extra blocker. Oh, no, wait, we can Vesuva the Forest now and then play second Grazer. Or does it cost 3? No, we can't. That's right. It doesn't really matter. All right. Well, Grazer coming here to save the day. Super clutch Grazer. Damping Sphere not really killing us, but really harming our development here, unfortunately. Ravager. Do we have to do the math to see if this kills us? Every artifact they sack is +3 counters on the Ravager. So they have 3, 6, 9, like 12. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. Put all on the Zabaz, +1 from the Zabaz ability. I think we do have to block here, or we're just dead, so we'll block. If we draw a Boseiju, then I think we just win. I mean, we can at least get a Titan into play and attacking. Ring is a fantastic draw. Okay, so we play land into Dryad. Now we play land, Grazer, Ring, I think. Grazer, then we have 5 for Ring. Yeah, this should work. We are slowly but surely getting there, eventually. And now I'm definitely picking up the Vesuva here, because there is a pretty strong likelihood that we find another, well, you want to keep this ring, but there's a pretty strong likelihood we find another amulet, I think. And additionally, it means that we can copy Inkmoth to have an extra blocker, which I think could definitely be relevant. Our deck is bailing us out here after having that done that horrible mistake. Let's go ahead and draw with our ring and then swing it back to us. Interestingly, worth noting, Zabaz does not have flying, even though it looks like it. They can make a white and activate it to give it flying, I suppose, but it doesn't itself actually have flying. Right. Boseiju to make everything easy, please. Boseiju. No Boseiju. Things can never be easy, of course. And they still have the jar. So we play Dryad. Play land, we could transmute, but it doesn't really do much. Play Titan. I play land, Titan, get Boseiju and something. We don't have enough blockers for all of their dudes. We can play Dryad, land, pack for Grazer, and then Vesuva copies Inkmoth, I guess. I think that has to be the play. We could potentially get Engineer Explosives off of a transmute after that to deal with the Damping Sphere. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to play Saga, gonna play Dryad, and we play, I guess, we can Vesuva, land, pick up Vesuva, Grazer and Vesuva copy Inkmoth. Played 1, so this will cost us 1 mana, then Grazer will cost us 3 total, and we'll still be good. I guess, I think this is fine. Copy Forest, we'll pack the last remaining Grazer. We'll play, I guess, Sanctuary, pick up Vesuva copy Inkmoth. I guess we don't have to copy, oh wait, we can't play Vesuva because we don't have any land draw. That's fine, because we have exactly enough blockers now. Man, we needed to leave the Vesuva and play Copying Forest because our Dryad is going to die here, and we won't have green mana. So now we're back into needing to draw ring territory. Not like that. Yep, definitely losing due to the Dismember punt. All right, we need another ring, or Engineer Explosives or something, I don't know. Explosives doesn't even do it. I guess we can draw here and see if we find Boseiju now to unlock our mana. Dismember doesn't do much. Yeah, Dismember doesn't really do much. Alright. I think we're just dead. Oh, wait, we can make a blocker, I guess, with the Saga, so let's keep that open. Is this not enough? There we go. Guess we can draw an untapped green source and play it and pack for a Dryad and play Dryad into Vesuva copy like Inkmoth or something and try to go from there. Unfortunately, we need there to be one more Grazer in deck because we don't have enough mana here. We play this, play Pact, and then Dryad. We're tapped out. We have 1 mana up to Dismember, but it's not enough. We're so close. We also could have potentially drawn a Boseiju and a green source, played Forest, Boseiju something, and then had enough mana to Pact and try to get stuff going after that, but dang, a lot of small mistakes leading us to this point. I just don't think there's anything we can do because we can only make 1 blocker. Close. Should definitely have been winnable, but that was on us. Oh well, moving on. On the draw against Cheerios. We still haven't gotten just a good handoff rip. Like, I guess we could play a turn 3 Dryad. Turn 3 Dryad into a potential turn 4 Titan if we draw an untapped source, but it's on the draw. I think we can just do better. Alright, this hand's better. We'll keep it. Bottom one of these redundant bounce land. Maybe with the extra bounce land, or with a Crumbling Vestige, we don't need the extra bounce land. Could be a potential takeaway, but Flood Strand most likely signals to me Murktide. I think I want to lead on Grazer here and play around Spell Pierce, even if they're not on Murktide. It also plays around a potential Ragavan, depending on what they are playing. This could just be another 4-color matchup. That would be quite the occurrence. It's 4-color again, dude. I'm gonna scream. Turn 2 Ren. A song and dance we have all heard before. Well, second Amulet, huh? Okay, I see where you're going with this deck. Guess we want to leave Rot Farm in place so we have Simic Growth Chamber in hand in case we draw a T-West that we want to transmute. We have the tech for this matchup. We almost went against it earlier, actually, weirdly enough. We got Rin Boseiju locked, which I'm very much growing tired of. See if we can avoid getting Rin Boseiju locked in this matchup. Probably not, but we'll do our best, depending on the Amulet. It already did its job at this point, so they Rin Ping Construct, sure. We'll just activate here, play very calmly and coolly. Maybe even just get Expedition Map here. And they'll probably just pending it or something, so I'm gonna wait on the map, play Forest. I guess we play another Amulet as backup, just because we don't really care what happens. Can't attack with a token, sadly. If only we could have killed Ren there. Well, we have Titan this upcoming turn if we were to draw it. I don't know what that says, but it is entertaining regardless. I'm over here already struggling against 4-color. Mistaken's in the chat, so there's a chance we could actually win now. Because Mistaken, he knows what to do. He knows what to... Oh, they're playing the Ewit Time Warp Ephemerate package. Very cool. No more Titan this upcoming turn, but we also... Oh, we would have drawn the Titan too. I was about to say we wouldn't have drawn it anyways, so... whatever, right? Well, I guess we're swinging into the Ren here and being okay with trading with Eternal Witness, because that means we can't get Ephemerate shenaniganed. Alright, it just worked. I like when things just work, so I'll accept that. Make a green, 1 Dryad, and a passing of the turn. We can Titan them next turn, maybe even set up some Valakut stuff. For those of you who are wondering, the list that we are playing today is this one. So if you want to criticize it, then be my guest. I almost forgot that we're playing Beanstalk Wurm because we've been siding it out in our matchups for the most part so far, but in this matchup, it's actually not the worst thing. Time Warp. Well, I mean, I did call it. See if they have Ephemerate here to go along with it. Just easily get Ephemerate Time Warped out of the game in game 1. Mistaken claims this is a good matchup. I don't know if I believe it. We got a Beanstalk. Our opponent's on the Bean tech as well. Okay. Well, we can Colossus here, I guess. Assuming they don't have Counterspell. I like Colossusing. Definitely keeping all the bounce lands in hand, I think. That way, any land that we draw is potentially Titan mana. So if we just, don't hit a whole lot of stuff here, we'll still be good. You never, ever want to Counterspell here. If you're my opponent, you just never have Counterspell. You never even think of the card Counterspell. You just always let whatever happens happen. No, you don't have the counterspell. You don't have the counterspell. Ugh. You didn't get the memo, opponent. That wasn't the way. Chat, I think they had the counterspell. This is fine. We're fine. Hey, we got the Eternal Witness out of play. That is a net positive in my opinion. They usually only play 1 Witness, so that means that they probably can't Ephemerate lock us unless they just happen to be playing main board Endurance, which is not super common as far as I understand. At least Ren's not close to ultimating. If they Beseiju land here, we're just dead. By the way, I guess picking up the Crumbling Vestige would have played around Beseiju. You hear that, opponent? If you have Beseiju, just play it and put us out of our misery so we can go to game 2 without having to wait to try to time you out at the end and then end up ultimately failing regardless. Bring to light with 4 color. Omnath must be. I'm smelling. Oh, Valky. I was gonna say I'm smelling an Omnath, but Valky is way worse probably than Omnath for us. Omnath feels vaguely beatable. Valky, probably not. Also, they can actually make great use of a Dryad of their own. So being able to just play our Dryad, we have no way to pressure this. Cool. And we don't have a Colossus anymore either. Well, yep, now we're basically in waiting for them to kill us territory, just gonna pass the turn every turn until something happens. They exiled Otawara, playing our Dryad, very rude. This is the moment where we get to ignore what they're doing and just figure out what chat is up to. Hit y'all with the how are you doing, chat? Honestly, I don't even think we play the Dryad because it's not doing anything meaningful here. Just wait until we can set up Valakut stuff and make them answer Dryad and Titan all in 1 turn, assuming we ever even get there, which we probably won't. Somehow, I see Mistaken in these positions, and he always, comes back from it, and his opponent concedes when I'm like, I don't know how you're dead, but your opponent concedes there. It's like, this never happens to me. I'm just gonna lose. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how that works. We do have Osa on the sideboard, so we'll try, but what is the ultimate on this card? Oh, it just adds red and exiles graveyards. Ugh. I mean, they could cast our Cultivator Colossus, I suppose. Alright, we'll just play some things out, I suppose. The content brain in me wants to just go ahead and concede and stop wasting my time and stop wasting y'all's time because, nobody wants to see this. But technically not conceding is the best thing to do here because every second they have to spend is a second that they might end up losing to the chess clock at the end of the match. So it's in terms of trying to perform the best in the league, I'm not supposed to concede here. But there's no way I can win. How am I supposed to beat this? The answer is you don't. You just don't. I don't know why I'm still playing. I guess out of their 4 cards, they might just not happen to have Solitude or Leyline Binding, and we top deck Titan, which we would never do. Why would we ever top deck Titan? I don't know. Well, we'll just chill. Mistaken. I need some of your feedback here. I need you to give me the cards that I need off the top of my deck, and I need you to explain to me how this is not just a nightmare losing scenario. Got a 5-color Bring to Light for Omnath. We'll wait, I suppose. This is one of the reasons why this deck is so frustrating for me. It's I just want to concede. This is a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time, but it's necessary. That's why I freaking hate this deck. And this card. Ren and 6. We're going to lose to Omnath damage triggers. We're going to lose to triple fetch on our upkeep. That's what's going to kill us. I don't mind giving our opponent the extra 30 seconds of not doing that. So For the love of God, let's please just move on. Bring in a couple dismembers for Omnaths. Trim some Amulet of Vigors. Trim Map and Sagas. This is the mistaken typical sideboard plan. Kind of don't mind Caverns since they did show us Counterspell, so we'll bring that in. Grazers are out. 1 pack can go. I guess 2 packs maybe? Or maybe Crumbling Vestige. We're probably going long enough that we don't need the Vestige. Alright, here we go. I mean, this hand has no lands. We're statistically likely to draw lands, and we have explosives to deal with a turn 2 Wrenn. Like, I'm gonna keep it, but it's not great. And we are gonna lead on Bog here and waste the Bog trigger, even though they could have turn 1 fetch land here because we need to be able to play turn 2 explosives if they do have Wrenn. Honestly, I'm probably just playing explosives out preemptively. Like, whether they have the Wrenn or not, explosives is going on too. No land. Cool. It's alright. Stay calm. We'll just top deck lands. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. No Wrenn. Cool. Land. Or not. Or we just don't have that. I'm just patiently waiting for my turn. I say that as if I'm actually feeling patient. I'm most certainly not. We'll go with Elemental here and slam this Endurance. Gotta pressure our Planeswalker somehow, right? Get rid of that fetch land. Here's a ring. Cool. Alright, we would like a land off the top, please. I don't know why they wouldn't just activate ring during their turn, but... No land. We're just living our best life. Play cheeky little Endurance, pass it back, target ourselves for value. Anybody's game. I'm sure we could still win. They have Minamo plus the ring. What could possibly go wrong? See if they tie Warp here to save their Teferi from an Endurance attack. Or they could just hardcast Solitude as well. Hardcast Solitude would be pretty difficult for us to beat, to be honest. We'd have, yep. Oh, Pitchcast Solitude. Pitching Supreme Break. That's kind of weird. I guess they're planning on playing something else. They don't have green mana, which is interesting. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna play Endurance again. Now does not feel like the time to slam Oblivion Stone. We'll just chill. I mean, if they had to pitch cast for Endurance, to deal with our Endurance last time, that's 2 Solitudes down. So, I mean, maybe this is my fault for bringing Dismember, but I didn't expect to draw, like, both of them. Left 1 Dismember in the sideboard, too, I think. No, I didn't. Okay, so there's still a 3rd Dismember. Maybe it's on me for boarding in more than 2 Dismembers, but... Unless they play Omnath here, in which case we'll just dismember both of their creatures and feel rectified and still be way behind, but you know, we'll draw a bounce land, dismember both of their creatures, and still be in the game somehow. That's the plan. It is the definitive plan. Sure. Honestly, at this point, I'm just slamming O-Stone. I don't care. Maybe they even Boseiju the O-Stone. Maybe like, oh, we can't beat an O-Stone. We have to Boseiju that. Can you guys tell I'm dying inside? Does it look like that? Is that what it seems like? Good old Om-Nom. At least our opponent's at 13 minutes. Who knows? Maybe we can time them out. It's probably not going to happen. I mean, eventually we get to O-Stone popping territory, so there's that. I mean, they can just bounce it with Teferi, but, you know, we could put a fate counter on our engineered explosive. Heck yeah. They're just continuing to play spells into O-Stone. Kind of surprising to me. I mean, they have 9 cards in hand, so I guess it doesn't even matter what they lose to O-Stone at this point, but... We're cool. We're chill. That's a self-soothing mechanism. Hey, we found the bounce land. All right, we'll dismember Om-Nom. Get out of my house. Get gone. Play this. Honestly, I think I'm just picking up... No, we need to be able to activate O-Stone this upcoming turn, possibly, so... And I guess we'll just go ahead and dismember Solitude now, since they seemingly don't have Ephemerate. And if they have Ephemerate, at least we're not losing creatures, so... Play O-Stone. Just play double dismember into our own O-Stone anyways. What can you do? Omnath number 2. You got it. All good. Teferi up to 5. Oh, we can pop their up the Beanstalk with our explosives on 2. That's another reason to play explosives on 2 here. We could like Pact Dryad or something if we really wanted to. Not that I really want to. I think this is just going to be a pop O-Stone turn. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Just O-Stone, kill our 2 explosives. Seems fine. 8 minutes ahead, by the way. 8 minutes. Although I guess that's easy to happen when we're doing nothing and our opponent is doing something. Our opponent actually has a board state, whereas we've just been saying okay every turn. So, you know... I guess we'll just take 4 here and pop one of our EEs players. You know, I'm slamming Primeval Titan. I don't care anymore. Put this one onto the battlefield, please and thank you. What do we even get here, dude? What do we even get here? I feel like Bounce Land Boseiju makes sense to me. I kind of wish we had Sagas here, to be honest. I don't mind Saga in this matchup so much. Guess it's just Bounce Land Boseiju. We don't really have much else going on. Here we go. Mistaken, please explain. please explain. I mean, obviously this game is a bit of an outlier because we got completely mana screwed, but, like, is this actually a winnable matchup or no? Because, like, that was one of our losses earlier was to 4-color, 5-color, but, you know. I guess we're popping O-Stone then. Oh no, they can exile our O-Stone. Well, luckily we have the sneaky backup. Oh, they don't. They just... Plus Tibble. Okay. Exiling Lorien Reveal on their side as if they need more cards than they already have. Certainly. You got it. I don't even know what to do here. Are we supposed to try to go for Colossus? I mean, like, alright, so we're definitely gonna O-Stone and pop it, especially since they don't have Counterspell up. Engineered Explosives be danged. They can play our Growth Chamber. I didn't realize that. That's kind of sick, actually. That's kind of awesome. Not gonna lie. Winnable matchup, though. I would like to play one Oblivion Stone. See if they have a Force of Negation here. That would just be insult to injury. That would be wild. You never have Force of Negation. You just don't. Actually, I guess we're not supposed to do this immediately. Although if I want to pick up Bog, which I kind of do, then we kind of need to do this immediately. But or Cavern as well. I tapped poorly is basically what's happening here, but we don't want to let them untap with Tybalt anyways, so go ahead and sacrifice this one. Pick up Cavern. I mean, we could just pack for Titan. I feel like we kind of need to pack for Colossus here, though. Especially if we top deck a land, so we'll just, go about our life, continue minding our own business. We need our Colossus to hit, like, a ton of lands and give us 3 relevant cards. Or our opponent could just play a freaking Elishnorn, and then nothing matters again. This matchup, man, I don't get it. How do you win, Mistaken? I don't get it. I need assistance. Anybody's game, y'all. I'm out of it. We're fine. We're chill. Moving on. You three. You were supposed to help. You were supposed to be the savior. Where were you? You were right there. And I saw you doing absolutely freaking nothing. Hold on. I have the perfect meme for this. This one. This is me right now. It's always you three. Freaking O-Stones, where were you? All right, I'll be on the play. The opponent says, good luck, have fun. I will say, you too. This is a hand where Cultivator Colossus feels a lot like a mulligan, but we are going to keep it. At least we get to start activating Saga, so that's pretty good. Here's a Grazer and a Saga Go. I mean, this is what I live for right here. This exactly here is what I live for. It's Murktide! Oh wait, please don't be living in. Please don't be living in. Please do not be living in. Yes! It's Murktide! Finally a matchup that I actually want to play against. Finally, dude. Okay. I mean, we could slam Dryad here. Honestly, Dryad pick up Saga isn't the worst. That way we don't lose. Oh, wait, we can't Dryad. What am I saying? We don't have green. Ugh, got too excited for a second. No. We have blockers for the Ragavan. We have extra threats in our Beanstalk Wurms. We're a little cold to Blood Moon, but we even have Oblivion Stones for that situation. So this is what it's about. Again, I'm not even saying that I am gonna win this matchup. That's not at all what I'm saying. At least this feels like normal, real Magic. I'm so tired of 4-color, dude. So done. How do we get to this point where turn 1 Ragavan makes me happy? What a change. We're gonna bolt, feeling a frisky little lightning bolt? No? I will block you. Block. Currently listening to my favorite song by System of a Down called Aerials. It's a sweet one, if you have not heard it. And I'm just gonna go all in on this. Maybe I even get Cavern here. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think we have mainboard Bog to search for, but like get Expedition Map for Cavern. Or is that too slow though? I feel like it's not. It's not too slow. Never too late. I'm not playing around them having triple red removal spells, so I'll just swing. They can end of turn Bolt Grazer, untap, and have like Dress Down or something, but even then we don't get actually hit by the Ragavan, so I don't really care. They're trading the Ragavan? Okay. I mean, I don't think that's a bad play. I think that's a good play, because they can play a Murktide on this board and it'll be pretty dominant. Or Shredder. Shredder's not as powerful, but, it do what it do. Shredder plus immediate Bobble is a little bit better, though, to be fair. Well, at least our Dryad's resolving. It's probably getting Unholy Heated, but it's resolving. They have Sorcery Land, Instant Artifact, so Dryad is about to be toasted, which is why we're going to play our land drop first, and then play Dryad, because if we were to play Dryad and play land drop, they could respond to the trigger and kill our Dryad, and thus we wouldn't get our second land drop. So if we float all of our mana, play a Rot Farm or a Growth Chamber immediately and pick up a land, and then play Dryad, we can immediately go ahead and play that land, and not get punished by the Unholy Heat that they probably most definitely have. 3 cards. We just hope one of them is not a Murktide Regent. Ooh, I like that one. Don't mind that one. Let's just pick up Crumbling, I guess, and play... Honestly, I think we just play Bounce Land. Next turn, we can go land, slam Cultivator with a measly 1 card in hand. But Red Face Menace, why do you not like Cultivator Colossus? It's such a good card. How do you not like Cultivator Colossus? I wonder. Plus... We do all this work. We go land, Cavern Naming, plant, slam, uncountable Cultivator Colossus, and you know what our opponent just does? They go, dress down. Dress down, you say. I mean, I guess we could just wait and not play Cultivator. Maybe even map for Boseiju to play around dress down, but I don't know what you want from me. It'll be really hilarious when I go land, slam Cultivator, and draw like 10 cards off of my 1 land in hand and eat my words just because that's how the universe works. The most unlikely, best Cultivator Colossus of all freaking time just because I was complaining about Cultivator Colossus. You know it's gonna happen. You already know. Also, it looks like they maybe didn't have the heat, but they definitely do have the Murktide, which is what they're casting here. Yep. Yeah, that one's not great. We could maybe try mapping for Valakut. Weirdly enough, I feel like land might be our strongest draw, and we just have to hope and pray our opponent doesn't have Dress Down. I mean, to be fair, it's not like a Titan would have been good against Dress Down either. Okay, well now we can't Colossus them. We're going to be able to resolve our Dryad. So I guess this is our turn to map for a Valakut, or maybe Bounce Land to set up the Cultivator a little bit better. We have Reach. Grazer does have Reach, so we'll block that one. Okay, Bounce Land is probably about the best possible top deck, to be honest. So how do we want to play this? Do we want to map for Valakut or map for Bounce Land to try to guarantee more draws with Cultivator? I think with the Bounce Land already in hand, we probably just want to map for Valakut. So play Dryad, Land, probably want to play the Cavern out here so we don't have to play Land Drop to resolve our Colossus. Cavern naming Plant, of course. And I guess now we get to just leave up the map. We can choose what we want to map for at a moment's notice. Almost definitely Valakut's going to be the play here, but assuming they can't just kill our Dryad, which they haven't up to this point, so I'm so prepared for them to just dress down our Cultivator Colossus instantaneously. Disaster thinking right here. Are they not attacking with a Murktide? That would be weird. Well, let's just soak up our free 2 points from the Shredder before eventually blocking Murktide. I doubt that they'll ever have a good window to bolt Grazer or whatever, so we're gonna map. We're gonna get Valakut. We're going to slam a Cultivator and just pray to God that they do not have Dress Down, because if they have Dress Down, we cannot beat that. So here is a Cultivator Colossus. Please do not, I'm begging you, Dress Down a Cultivator Colossus. You don't, I can't even run the bit, because every time I've done it enthusiastically, our opponent has just like immediately just had everything. Luckily, we also have everything, so this is the one time that we actually get to have it. Is this lethal? This is 18 damage. Okay, let's go upstairs, I guess. And by that, I mean point all the triggers at yo face. There we go. Okay, well, maybe I was being a little rude to Cultivator Colossus earlier, you see. It's not quite that simple. All right, against this matchup, Cultivator Colossus is the first freaking cut. Yes, I'm going to go right back to complaining about Cultivator Colossus. What about it? We can trim an Amulet, but probably not more than that. Trim a Summoner's Pact, but I like 3. What do we want? We want all of the Endurances. We want at least a couple Dismembers. Honestly, I kind of like all 3, just because having an answer to Magus and or turn 1 Blood Moon is just like really important. We want the Bog and Boseiju and Cavern as well. And we kind of want a couple O-Stones. I feel like we can trim an Amulet for an extra O-Stone from Summoner's Pact, since we have a billion Beanstalk Wurms. I don't love trimming a Bounce Land, but I also don't really care too much for a map. I mean, it's not like it's bad here. It gets basic Forest and Cavern, but like it's kind of a huge waste of mana. 3 mana for that, just like not the greatest. Maybe I want the cheeky 1 O-Stone and trim a T-West, since we're trimming a bunch of Summoner's Pacts and we're less likely to have things to T-West for. I don't mind it. Let's run it. Let's Beanstalk Wurm our opponent. This is your time to shine, Beanstalk Wurm. Come in clutch. We need you. Especially with only 2 Amulets in deck, I think having the 3rd Dismember makes a lot of sense. Just having that many turn 1 ways to either get a 3-drop and play on turn 2, block a Ragavan, or answer a Ragavan, I think is just very important. So, especially in a hand exactly like this one, where your only saving grace against Ragavan is being able to dismember it. Although we don't get to dismember on turn 1 because we unfortunately don't have the untap source, but like we're definitely keeping this hand. And I think this hand might otherwise be a mulligan, possibly, if we didn't have Dismember. So there's that. And we're still gonna get hit by Ragavan. And if our opponent has like turn 2 Blood Moon, then we'll just die, but can't beat everything. We also have O-Stone. Going way down the line, we could O-Stone away their board and maybe not be dead. Untap land lets us immediately Dismember, so that would be nice. Amulet would let us go turn 2 Amulet into Bounce Land, into Beanstalk Wurm, into land, into Dismember, which I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind that at all. Ring is something we can play, so we get to interfere with their graveyard here. All right, what do you got, opponent? I'm prepared for the worst. Hopefully they just go like land, Ledger Shredder, attack, or something like that. Preordain. That's a good start. That is not Blood Moon, so that's a good start. Not complaining about that. The absolute brightening of the mood when I play against not 4 color control. Whew. I don't even care if I win at this point. They're getting very dangerously close to reestablishing Delirium here. Might warrant a very frequent, very soon Bajuka bogging. Is that what's the word I'm looking for? Expedient is like close to the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it. All right, well, we're gonna Hail Mary this Dismember and see if they have it. The counterspell, that is. They don't. Love it. We rebuy our Bajuka Bog here and swing it back to them. They have this turn to play a fetch and or consider or something and slam a Murktide. And then after that, we get to Bog/Endurance them and keep the ball rolling. So think about the worst thing that could happen here is they just immediately Murktide us. But, barring that, we're not looking too bad. Next turn, we get to go Bog and to plant some beans. We get to plant some beans, baby. I'm feeling a lot like doing some simple farmer's work. It's a Murktide. It's a Murktide. Oh, it's a Magus. Dismember? Alright, we're gonna get our free ramp here. Next turn we get to play O-Stone. The turn after we get to play 1 ring. And the turn after that... Oh, our opponent has no basic island, by the way. They just slamming the Magus and just hoping it wins, I guess. Oh, they have Ragavan. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, I'm playing O-Stone regardless of whether or not they have Spell Pierce here. So if they have Spell Pierce, I guess we'll just lose. But, you know, this is called our golden ticket right here. This is our golden ticket. That's not a bad one. Actually, no, that is a horrible one because this is a Magus, not a Blood Moon. So whatever. Yeah, golden ticket, please resolve. I feel like I'm begging for things to resolve a lot in this league. I promise you, this is not how it normally goes, but O-Stone looking to be a saving grace here. This is our one of O-Stone, by the way. Classic one of O-Stone. See if our opponent has some craziness like cast into the fire. We might just be dead here to bolt. It's also nice that the O-Stone will clean up all the treasure tokens as well, so any mana ramp they get from Ragavan is about to be nullified in 2 turns. They're going for the lethal, huh? That's how it is. You better have force, I guess. I mean, we could dismember, play Cavern naming something, and play the One Ring. Honestly, I think we just play the One Ring here. I don't see a reason to dismember. I guess they might force a negation to dismember, but this also means we get fewer draws from Ring if we lose the life. Plus, we can pay for the black later on. So, like, I think I'm gonna hold on to the dismember. We'll just lose to force. No force. Cool. Do we draw? Kind of feel like we don't. At least not yet. We can draw during their turn if we really feel like we want to, but I feel like at 6 is a precarious enough life total that just using the ring here to fog us a turn is going to be good enough. Could be wrong, though. Touchy situation. We can also use the Mage's Protection to go ahead and force resolve our second ring, so just like draw 3 here. Like draw 1 on their instep, untap, draw 2 more, and lose our 1 life, and then slam another ring while we know it's going to resolve, and then go for the O-Stone. Basically just gives us 3 extra cards. I think I'm going for it. They didn't have the force before. If they literally just top deck force, then that's great for them, I guess. But it also gives us an extra growth chamber in play, which I like. Yep, we'll just go ahead and draw. Ooh, Dryad. We could play Forest, Dryad, land, and still be 1 short. So probably not going to do that. We'll play a replacement One Ring. Keep the new one. This one we may not draw with, though, because we probably have the tools that we need at this point. I guess we're also playing into a way for them to bounce or destroy O-Stone, but I mean, we can also, at this point, just dismember Mages. I don't think that's the play, though. I'm just going to not draw with the One Ring. There's really no reason to. So we pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have 2 mana to then Wurm immediately. It gives them the opportunity to flash in a threat at instep, but do we care about that? Or do we just pass? I feel like we just pass. We don't really need any of these lands in play, necessarily. Or wait, hold on. Wait, there's another line. We can cast this first. Again, it plays into force, but they haven't had it the last 2 times, so cool. And I think at this point we just play Boseiju, keep the Cavern in hand, wait for them to attack, and then pop the O-Stone immediately. Imagine I click the wrong O-Stone button. Still not activating the ring yet, I don't think. Doesn't feel necessary at this point. There is a possibility that pitching Endurance here is a good play. I don't know, maybe we should be tapping the ring here. It's not likely we're going to be able to get rid of our ring, though, because we already used 1 ring, and our next couple of rings may not resolve. So I feel like using ring here is extremely risky unless we're like certain that we're going to win. So probably not ringing is better than ringing, but I guess they Alpine Moon naming Valakut here. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, unless they think we still have Saga. A Growth Chamber? I guess that also makes sense to me, to be fair. That does make sense. Ragavan, you got it? I'm not going to ring. We just don't need to. I will Cavern down Dryad, I think, though. Or is it better to flash in Endurance uncounterably? It might be better to Endurance here, I think. They could have Subtlety. We only get to do 2 of these things. I think we're gonna... I guess we get to play a Grazer as well, so that's nice. This also unlocks Dismember from our hand. I don't mind if they counter this. I just want to guarantee that our Endurance resolves if at all possible. And also this means that their fetch and whatever they cast here, Stern Scolding, okay. This means that whatever they cast here also gets eaten up by the Endurance effect. So the Cavern naming, Incarnation, and I guess we don't want to let them hard cast an Endurance from their hand if they have it, so we'll just do this now. I guess the safest thing is maybe to pitch cast and then be able to dismember, but I mean, even if they do Subtlety us, we can still play Grazer as a blocker or just dismember. This worked out about the best way it could have, I think. So, and I think I am just going to go ahead and play the Grazer here in case they have a way to get rid of the Endurance somehow. And now we're going to see the power of Beanstalk Wurm just being a 5/4 creature. Oh, Stern Scolding Grazer. I don't know why they board in Stern Scolding in this matchup. Like, sure, it hits Dryad and Grazer, but like, is that really worth it though? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Iteration is pretty good. We might be needing to draw with the One Ring now. Iteration could spell a lot of trouble for us. If they play a Murktide onto this board somehow, like let's say they play Fetchland, crack it, play Murktide, then we can dismember the Murktide. Are we drawing with the ring yet? That is the question. Are we supposed to draw? I don't know. We still have enough resources to try to win with. And our opponent didn't play anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and give it 1 more turn before we start activating the ring out of desperation. This could be a mistake, though. I'm really bad about timing when to use the ring and when not to, but this just feels like we'll die to the ring more easily than not die to the ring. So 3, 5, we can play Dryad and the Worm, but if they have double counterspell, we're not in the best spot. I think I am still just casting both of these. Force them to have double counterspell now out of their 3 cards. Or Stern Scolding plus counterspell. Okay, there's one counterspell. Now we'll play the more important... Oh, I freaked out for a second because I thought there was a Blood Moon in play. I had immediate flashbacks to Blood Moon, but then I realized there's not a Blood Moon, it's an Alpine Moon. And also, this only costs 1 green, so... Doesn't matter, actually. Okay, they have actual double counterspell, so we might be needing to tap this One Ring now. Definitely not attacking. Definitely not attacking. This has been a very close game. Expressive Iteration and double counterspell definitely helps them out a bit. I think we probably need a One Ring now. I think we don't really have a choice in the matter, because currently we're not beating their board. They could also draw and play another Murktide at any time, so we just need to start doing that. We gave ourselves enough time to find another ring anyways, so we're genius. This is exactly how I anticipated it would happen, you know? Draw some more. Hey, there's the boy. All right, so we play this one. See if they want to spell pierce it or something. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can haste Titan here, potentially. But we don't really want to play land drop in case they can kill our Titan and we can't get Vesuva copy Bog. Weird situation. We also kind of want to be able to play a One Ring here. Is it better to just slam One Ring and hold up Dismember in the worst case? Might be better to play One Ring. I think it might be better to play One Ring to guarantee we don't lose the Bolt. I think I'm playing Ring here. Hey, it worked. Okay. And we will play the Slayers, giving our opponent one more chance to draw a counter spell, unfortunately, but we can also draw a bounce land at any point and be good. So very close game. Very close game. I don't know what card they saw off the bauble because I don't know which of these. Oh, they probably saw the Ring. I think they saw the Ring. Preordain is a good top deck. Or at least it's not a bad one. Land, that would be bad top deck. I guess we could have Slayer Strongholded our Endurance to get in for value. I don't know how Alpine Moon and Blood Moon interact. I'm not sure if this would stop us from tapping for any color with the Simics or not. If it probably is timestamps and then like New Moon overwrites the old one. At least I would have to assume. Channeler's pretty okay. I don't know that we're supposed to ring here. It probably is about time to cash in this Dismember, I think. And despite the fact that we can potentially just bog away their graveyard to deal with the Channeler, the fact that it has flying makes it way more threatening if they do get to reactivate it than the Ragavan. So we actually just have to Dismember here, targeting the Channeler. We don't really have a choice in that matter. We can draw with the Ring now, depending. I think I'm just slamming Titan and hoping they don't have the counter magic, though, to be completely honest. They have Subtlety? Oh, goodness, that's really bad for us. Okay, so now we want to draw with the Ring, since we're going to be dead anyways. Oh, I should have done it in response to Titan, so the thing we're drawing could be like an Arboreal Grazer or Dismember or something. Missed it, though. Don't feel like we can afford to bottom this one, though, so we'll just put it back on top. And I guess we don't ring then, since we know what we're drawing. We might still lose this. Definitely been a grind, but our opponent has drawn the cards that they needed, which does happen. Hey, that just means we'd be going to a game 3. Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, seems good. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I think we just run it back. I think Urza's Saga is not going to be the play against the Maguses and Alpines. Maybe we do just want another O-Stone. I don't know what we'd cut for it, though. Maybe one of the Dismembers. Dismember is pretty important here, though. Crumbling Vestige. I feel like trimming Crumbling Vestige for an O-Stone matters. Yeah, we'll keep this. Would really like our opponent not to turn 1 Ragavan us this specific game. Oh, wait, we're on the play, so turn 1 Ragavan isn't as bad, but it's still not great. Leading on Valakut, so we can turn to plant some beans. I don't know if last game could have been remedied at all by using the Ring more aggressively. It's really hard to tell in a game like that. If you have any thoughts about it, leave it in the comments below. I think it's very close. It's like really like knife's edge margins, you know? Also, heads up to our opponent for having played Alpine Moon on the Simic Growth Chamber there. It was very good. I try to stay as positive as possible. Even when I get tilted, I still think it's kind of funny, because even if I'm mad at something that my opponent's doing or a deck that my opponent's playing, it's still hilarious to myself that I get mad about it. So like, a lot of times when I get mad, I usually think it's funny before I get like actively mad, you know? Also, here comes Spell Pierce. I appreciate the comments though. Hey, it actually resolved. We got our first Beanstalk of the day. Just picking up Forest here, I think. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Beanstalk Wurm looks really good in this matchup, I gotta say. And like, people keep dunking on this card like it's unplayable. There's nothing wrong with this card. Is it maybe slightly better than Explorer in a decent number of matchups? Yes. But is it also better than Explorer than, you know, in like matchups where it's grindy or the creature matters like this one? Yes. So like, I don't know. Well, that would have been a reason to pick up the Valakut. I was thinking about doing that, but it's whatever. We could just play O-Stone here and then play Bounce Land. I don't hate that. They'd probably just counterspell it, but we have a second O-Stone, like, so I don't really care that much. Honestly, that just lines us up to go turn the next turn Beanstalk Wurm if we really want to. And the O-Stone Snap resolving is also great, so that's an added benefit, I suppose. Our opponent is on the Blood Moon planet, it looks like. We see multiple snow-covered islands. By the way, I highly respect the choice of snow-covered island. I don't like that they're mismatching, to be fair, but this one, the Cold Snap one, Beautiful. Magus. Well, we have a plan in place for that. And the plan is to use planting means to continue making some progress. Although, in this particular case, Explorer would probably be better, but, you know, it's not a big deal. Oh wait, playing Amulet out into the Magus, probably not a great idea. I just kind of autopiloted the Amulet into play, but we're probably going to end up activating O-Stone. I guess if we miss on land, we could, or like, we could just take it slow, pay 4, put a counter on our ring, and then untap and O-Stone the turn after. Did I say our ring? Our Amulet. So, like, taking the turn to put a counter on Amulet probably will not kill us, you know? Ouch. Taking 2. Not the 2 damage. Please, spare me. Honestly, we could kind of just slam a Beanstalk Wurm onto this board and, like, take over. It would force a counterspell. It's really playing with fate, though, if they have a answer to our O-Stone. Like, end of turn borrower, untap, you know, do things that matter. It's alright. We'll just pass it back. Just take our hits here. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of happy to play this waiting game on the O-Stone. I feel like it's extremely unlikely they have an answer to the O-Stone, and if they do, what do I care about having a 4th loss at this point? Let's put a fate counter on Amulet of Vigor. Here we go. It begins. What if we just play another O-Stone? What if we play O-Stone into this? Vesuva, kind of an unfortunate one, because when we pop our O-Stone, this will no longer have any abilities, but probably is correct to play. I'm just going to slam the Dryad. I'm going to tempt fate. Don't want to slam the Beanstalk Wurm, because I'd rather them kill the Dryad, I think, than the Beanstalk Wurm. Especially, I mean, they only have 2 card types, so it's going to be hard for them to heat the Dryad here. I don't know, maybe playing Beanstalk Wurm was better. Probably was, because then the turn after we could go, like, Dryad into Endurance or something. Giving up a little equity, but it's alright. It's overthinking things. Should have just cast the 5-drop with 5 mana. Sometimes it's that simple. Opponent's going to feel the time crunch pretty soon. But that does not necessarily mean that's a good thing for us, because Murktide is one of the decks that can win very fast, and oftentimes trying to apply as much pressure as fast as possible is the correct play against us, so time pressuring them into being more aggressive probably is worse for us, weirdly enough. So, that's what I thought. That's what I freaking thought. And now we can just cast Endurance. Our mana's unlocked thanks to Dryad. The world is our oyster here. Honestly, counter this Beanstalk Wurm. That's what I have to say to you, opponent. Counter this. That's what I thought. Oh, settled. Ooh. I mean, we can recycle Beanstalk Wurm. Do we want a Beanstalk Wurm? Do we want a Beanstalk Wurm? I feel like we don't. It's close. Definitely is close. I'm not opposed to just taking a couple hits and then, like, Oblivion Stone, putting a fate counter on our Dryad and going from there. Our opponent has 7 cards, though. Like, this is going to be a little difficult on us, to be honest. We could also just equalize the board by slamming Endurance, but I think it's going to be better for us to just pop the O-Stone. Unclear. Another bounce land is our best draw, I think. Ooh, Dismember ain't bad. Dismember certainly ain't bad. We can even just Dismember the Magus. No land to trigger Valakut, sadly. Let's see, we pay 2 Dismember, play this. This also blocks Subtlety, by the way. We could also just Dismember the Subtlety. Interesting. Oh, I mean, anything we're going to do with Dismember can be at instant speed, as well as casting Endurance, so I don't think there's any reason to do anything immediately. Or we could just hold up the O-Stone pop, so not in any rush to make a decision immediately, especially since playing into Subtlety is something we do not want to do, because at this point we're at risk of taking a bunch of unnecessary damage, which we don't love. And if everything goes south, we have the failsafe of O-Stone. So, they're attacking with the Magus too? Interesting. Well, how about that, huh? That's unusual. Do we just take the 3 then? Honestly, I'm just gonna block. I did not expect them to double attack there. They're probably just feeling the time pressure and just like, oh, we have to do something. I'll go to 10. I think I'm pretty okay with that. Yeah. That's fine. Maybe should have floated with black for the Dismember, but I mean, I guess they had red and blue. I don't know what else they wanted. Do we just O-Stone now just to get it out of the way? I feel like O-Stone should be our last resort, to be honest. So, wait. Tap correctly. 1 Endurance. Fresh to the stack. Just snap resolve. Okay. Assume they have another. Oh, they don't have Delirium on the seat. Okay, well, okay. I mean, okay. I'm fine with this. I don't know what it means, but we're doing it. Again, I have to assume it has to do with time pressure. That's my only real guess here. I think we just hold up O-Stone again. They want to get through our stone wall of Endurance. We can play this game all day. The longer we wait, the more likely we are to find our natural Titan and Cavernous Souls. So if they want to attack into our Endurance and then use a removal spell just to get rid of it on a board where we have an O-Stone and they have nothing, like, I'm cool with that too. So, like, it's kind of a weird, like, boring waiting game, but especially since they're so low on time, I feel like this also favors us. This is a very weird game. Oh! Or we could just win, you know? That's cool too, I guess. Well, I can't say that this league went the best. We did end up 2-3 overall, losing twice to 4 color control, which is a deck that I was specifically playing 3 Oblivion Stones in the sideboard for and still lost. The second match, I mean, we just got mana screwed. We didn't draw a 3rd land for a couple turns, and we didn't draw a 4th, 5th, and 6th land for a bunch of turns after that. So, like, maybe there's not much to say there, but it still looked like O-Stone was going to be very good there. I don't know. I don't have a lot of thoughts. I think one thing, even though we didn't perform super well in this league, I think one thing that's been very clearly demonstrated is that this card, everyone thinks that this is like complete unplayable trash. I've seen people saying stuff like that on Twitter about this card, like kind of poking fun at the fact that I was playing it. Beanstalk Wurm is just a solid card. Like, there's nothing wrong with this card. Is it super impressive? No. Is it, super broken? No. But it's a good card. I don't know what to say. Like, I was excited for this card. I do think that out of the new set, this card is the card that makes the most sense in Amulet. And I'm playing it, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It feels fine to me. It's not amazing. It's not going to break the deck. You could probably not play it and play literally anything else instead, and it would be just as good as another Amulet deck. So, like, it's not a splashy card, but it's a good card. I like the card. It almost feels like this card was designed for me. Intermediary threat as a 5/4 reach with a pseudo explore tacked on. The one regret I have about this card is that it does not draw a card when you play the sorcery. If it was just literally sorcery explorer with a creature staple on the back end, this would be my favorite card of all time. That is the one thing that I miss. But I can understand why they didn't do that, because why would you want to print a power craft explorer? Like, there's no reason to do that, but it would have been better. But of course, tacking draw a card onto anything would be good. So, I don't know. I think that this list is okay. I think that Beanstalk Wurm is a fantastic card, in my opinion. And all I can say is, everybody hates 4-color control, everybody hates Written 6, and everything else is just Magic the Gathering. And honestly, hating Written 6 and 4-color control is also part of Magic the Gathering, so you won't hear me complaining that much. But regardless of the result, I hope that you guys enjoyed this league. I hope that you guys enjoyed spending some time with me. I appreciate everybody who was here in the chat, everybody who left comments, everybody who didn't, everybody who was just chilling and watching the stream. And I appreciate all of you guys who have made it this far to the end of this video on YouTube. And if you do leave a comment down below, I do read every single comment. And usually I respond to every single comment too, barring some weird circumstance where I think I responded but didn't. So, I don't know. I just appreciate it. I had fun with this league regardless of the result, and I hope that you guys did too. And I guess I will see you guys in the next stream/video. So, thank you for joining. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.